today with Kevin Clark, CEO of Bluebox, who has joined me to discuss the power of portable and how passenger devices can contribute to airline recovery. So, hi Kevin, how are things?
Hi April. Yeah, things are good. It's an interesting time of the year, but it's also helped by the fact we're heading into spring, so everyone feels a little bit buoyed by the fact we've got some optimism ahead of us.
Perfect. Yeah, totally agree. Bring your own device, or BYOD, is certainly the topic of the moment, growing in popularity among passengers and airlines alike. Aside from the hygienic credentials, why is wireless IFE something that airlines need to invest in?
Wireless IFE has been around for a little while. It's developed quite rapidly in recent years, and I think airlines are interested in it because it offers the promise of many of the same capabilities that we get out of if you like, a full in-flight entertainment deployment, classical deployment, but at a much lower price point, but also with greater flexibilities because of the ability to make use of newer technologies. So if airlines say currently are thinking about trying to get passengers back into planes and make them feel as comfortable as possible, the idea from a passenger's point of view that they can actually consume that content, that in-flight entertainment content on their own device, so it's more hygienic perhaps than a screen that's been used by other passengers, albeit that it will have been cleaned, and airlines have got the processes in place to do that. That just increases or helps to increase the confidence of passengers in making use of such systems. So there's that reason, but also wireless IFE systems do provide a number of different ways in which airlines can open up new ways of engaging with passengers and flexible ways of engaging with passengers that can be very powerful. So some examples of that would be, airlines can decide actually what they want to try and do is put a system in place where they can derive additional revenue from paid for access to content, but also advertising. Some of that advertising can be so-called gamified, so it can be presented in such a way that a passenger, let's say, for example, they're making use of a destination guide to explore a little bit about the things they can do when they arrive at their destination. Now that can be fairly traditional in the sense that they can just navigate through a system and explore the things they want to explore, but it can also have a layer of engagement in there that draws the passenger in, so that the more they explore, the more they're learning, but also the more they are exposed to advertising, for example. So it's a little bit of a give and take between the passenger and the airline, and there are products out there that allow that to happen, and that's very easy to deploy in the wireless environment. So there's a number of different ways in which passengers can be encouraged to engage more with the airline, and that's all really around the flexibility for the digital cabin that wireless streaming systems actually deliver.
Bearing all of that in mind, going forward, what does the future look like for the seatback screen?
Yeah, and this is an interesting discussion, because I mean there are schools of thought that believe it's the end of the seatback in-flight entertainment system, and I think we in Bluebox don't subscribe to that view. I think our view is that the world has certainly changed, and technology enables different capabilities to find their place within the landscape, and I think seatback IFE will be with us for a long time, and it will coexist. Wireless IFE systems, whether they're portable or they're fitted, and there's a variety of configurations, they will coexist in the market, and it will be because airlines decide maybe for what they do, wireless is better, but for other airlines, perhaps flying long haul routes where seatback systems are perhaps, certainly they've had a traditional presence, are still very pertinent for that world. And then there's the crossover where the two come together, where a passenger with their own device might want to be engaging with the wireless environment for certain services. An example could be for the quick and easy deployment of retail on board, where they use their own devices, very much the same as they would be shopping at home. They shop through their own device, but the seatback system provides some of the more traditional in-flight entertainment systems in a kind of long haul environment. So I think there's a coexistence out there. Where the line is between wireless and seatback will move around. So very obviously, I think seatback has a strong role to play in long haul service, and wireless has a much stronger role to play in short haul or regional services. So we take the view that it's not a one or the other. It's a very much a coexistence.
I think it feels like, despite everything, that there are positives to be found at the moment, especially with regard to the digitisation of the cabin. Do you agree?
Yes, I think one of the things, I mean, and we all look for positives out of the recent events, but one of the great positives, it's been a great impetus to push forward some of the initiatives and developments around digitization in the cabin and delivery of services in a very, very rapid and flexible and powerful way. So we've certainly put a lot of effort into building out the technology in our capabilities and in our solutions that I know others have as well. And that's a great thing. It means when passengers are back traveling in volume, they're going to have a much richer environment to engage in when they're in their in-flight journey. But one of the other aspects of this is it's also powering the ability to reach beyond the in-flight experience. So things that you might just experience in flight can actually be delivered to passengers or offered to passengers in the booking path. I'm thinking of paid for access to content as an example, but also the ability to reach beyond the journey and do things like browse what you might do when you get to a destination and actually purchase events or activities when you get to destinations. So the in-flight experience will become, even more so than it's ever been, something that can be thought about before the travel and also allow engagement post travel. So I think it's a very exciting world to come.
Okay, great. Well, thank you. That was really interesting. Thanks.
Okay, good stuff.